Welcome again to the online class of Introduction to Business. In this video, we will discuss business objectives. Some people say that it is making profit. The bigger, the better it is. Unfortunately, it is an oversimplification. So, let's discuss how business objectives should be defined. The key in understanding the different business objectives is to understand what is a product life cycle, which is the base of a business in general. Additionally, a business is not an entity that could operate without interacting with other entities. A business has to comply with a lot of requirements and has to take roles needed by the society. Let's discuss that. This is an ishigumi or the art of balancing stone. The stone arrangement stays on a larger base. The base should be strong to support the stack of the stones. It is similar to a business. A business could not stand alone. It needs supporting systems. Politically, the business should comply with three general objectives: economic, social, human or individual. The political system or government need business to move the economic machinery, utilizing available resources by innovating and producing products for customers. The government prepares a sound base for the business to operate efficiently and profitably. If the economic machinery is moving, the social problem will be decreased, especially employment. However, if the employment opportunity is limited, it is difficult to ensure a fair labor trade, also difficult to supply quality products fairly, not to mention environment protection. Because of these unsolved problems, it is required to administer community service. SBM also embraces community service because we hope that the alumni alleviate poverty. Last but not least, the business should also fulfill human objectives. The most important one is earning. Without earning, people will starve. Within these general objectives, the business thrives and prospers. This is a typical product life cycle which denotes how a new product created from the left side and perish at the right side. Most products follow this process. Let's take an example: bottled water. It was really difficult for Aqua to enter the market in 1973. It is the introduction stage. The first bottled water is delivered in glass. In the mid-1990s, plastic bottles replaced the glass bottle. This is the growth stage. Aqua is delivered in a plastic bottle as well as the gallon bottle, which is actually a 5-gallon bottle. Further, other producers invented a variety of dispensers for the gallon. This is the beginning of the maturity stage. Now, some producers are producing a reverse osmosis dispenser directly from the water tap. This reverse osmosis dispenser substitutes the whole portable water process. Thus, bottled water is at the brink of maturity or the decline stage in large cities. However, in remote areas, bottled water is still growing. What is water from well and municipality? This is clean water, opposed to potable water. Clean water production is different from potable water. The delivery of clean water governs the price. The city government cannot charge a high price for clean water because people have their own wells. That's why the price of clean water is very low compared to bottled water. The delivery cost of clean water in large cities is increasing, but until now there is no substitute. As we discussed, a product is declining because of substitution. Water dispenser substitutes bottled water. Further, A reverse osmosis water dispenser is substituting the conventional water dispenser. Up until now, there is no substitute to the current clean water supply in large cities. All existing business is facing substitution and, additionally, imitation. Due to substitution and imitation, there are a lot of competitors, and the profit tends to be lower and lower. That's why SBM always suggests the student to start a new business. Let's discuss the different business objectives based on the product life cycle. Most businesses are built to last, just like Borobudur. Unfortunately, without restoration, Borobudur will not endure. So is a business. To last, a business should also be managed. This is actually the first objective of a business, whether it is a business firm or any other firms. The main indicator of the survivability of a business is the trend of her stock value. That's why stock value is the top objective. Every CEO tries his best to increase the stock value, although this is just a perceived obligation. In order to increase the stock value, the business should gain some profit. Profit is the basic premise of business survival. However, that is at the growth stage. Let's see the initial stage, product development. The objectives are reaching the market by partnering with an investor and arranging a good management. At this stage, there will be no profit. Instead, loss is imminent because the research hasn't succeeded yet. The endeavor is not called a business yet. It is research and development. The researcher and investor are facing the valley of death, where most failures took place. If they manage to crawl out of the valley of death, they will face the upscaling crisis. Upscaling means developing the manufacturing capacity. On the other hand, the team should be able to penetrate the market. If marketing is successful, then the team should balance the sales with the manufacturing capacity. This is not an easy task, but possible. After this, at the growth stage, the objectives are stock value, profitability, brand development, and growth. Entering the maturity stage, the business should be sufficiently big. The maturity stage could be long, but could also be short. It depends on the innovation, especially creativity in producing product extension or brand new products. Big companies killed the declining product at will because they didn't want to defend a declining product. Sometimes, the company produces a new product that cannibalizes the old product, just like iPhone killed the iPod. Steve Jobs says, if you didn't cannibalize by yourself, somebody else will. After maturity, there are only two choices: renewal or divide the remaining value among the shareholders. There are a few companies who manage to renew her business. 3M, which produces Post-it, is a company that continuously renew the business from a failure in mining corundum. Only a few people knew that 3M is an abbreviation of Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing. Defining objective and measuring whether the objective is attained is the most important part of management. To measure the objective achievement, we have to decide performance indicators. Performance indicator is like a physician measuring our health indicators like temperature, breath sound, reflexes, pulse, etc. Following the organizational structure, every part of our organization will be responsible for certain performance indicators. A good performance indicator should be measurable. For example, brand equity is actually intangible, but we could define some measurements such as customer recall and then administer a survey to measure it. So, we can quantify the performance indicator. We could also prioritize some performance indicators. We call them key performance indicators. For instance, the orange indicators. There are also some indicators which are long-term. Performance indicators in the light blue boxes are in this category. Performance indicator is like water from a fountain. It is difficult to measure because it is flowing. A performance indicator should help us to decide. It should help us in anticipating. There are four elements of a performance indicator: measure, target, data source, and frequency. Let's discuss them one by one. Measure. Measure is a simple verbal expression of output. It should be measurable. So, the unit should be defined. Whether it is length, numeric, customer, sales, or anything. Then, we have to be aware of supporting attributes such as time. For instance, sales per customer per month. Target. Target is the numeric value that we want to achieve. A target also suggests that what we want cannot be achieved overnight. The former measure could be translated into specific targets, such as sales worth 300,000 per customer in January, sales worth 450,000 per customer in March, and so on. Data source. Who are involved in measuring the performance indicator? Could we automate it, or should we measure it manually? For instance, it will be measured through the use of a cash register supervised by the store manager. So, defining part of the organization that will be in charge is important. This is closely related to reporting. Of measuring should be defined as well. Frequency. How often should we report the performance indicator? The frequency is very important because a monthly report means 1 month late. In order to be proactive, an additional criteria could be added, such as report when there is a 15% decrease. So far, we have discussed some dimensions of business objectives. First, a business is supported by a socio-economic system and should contribute to the socio-economic system. Second, the business objective depends on the life cycle of the business or its products. Third, the business objective should be translated into performance indicators and allocated to the whole organization. To ease the performance evaluation business, develop tangible performance indicators. That's all, elephants. Thank you for watching.